a brief introduction lang din, no? Virlanie Foundation is a nonprofit organization that reaches out to marginalized children and communities here in the Philippines. It was founded by a French social worker named Dominique Lemay, and everything is in the website naman. And our mission is to love, protect, and empower the most disadvantaged children to help them reach their full potential and reintegrate into society. So, lahat naman tayo may experience ba sa may na-encounter tayo malamang na street child, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, actually, I want to ask this kind of question. Is it right to give alms to a street child or not? Can anyone can try to answer that question?
Ako, ma'am, yung yung mga street children po na namamalimos, para sa akin, hindi ko po binibigyan. Kahit yung mga nakakasalubong ko, tinatanong ko, hindi din po nila binibigyan. Kasi po sila po nagpapakahirap magtrabaho eh. Tapos sila, pang hihingiin lang ng mga magulang nila. Kasi yung piso-piso po na mabibigay namin doon pagka pinalimos niya, malaki din po yun.
So kahit pa piso-piso. Well, you have a point there that meron namang may effort, no? So yung pera na ibibigay lang is pinanggalingan sa dugo at pawis galing sa trabaho, right? But then sometimes we also have to think, paano kung talagang poorest of the poor siya? So, paano do sa piso na yon pwede siyang makalikom ng 25 pesos na pwede niyang pambili ng sardinas. So, at some point, there's that kind of debate, is it right or wrong? So, if you're going to ask me, is it right or wrong? I think it depends on the situation where if you have the capacity to give, why not try to give it to someone who really needs help or someone na talagang gutom? It could be that kind of mindset. It could be not only just two options. You can also think of a way on how you can help someone. If you're not capable of giving a certain amount, like a 1 peso change for a certain child or a family, probably you can give them kahit 3 delata para sa ilang araw na pagkain, or same as that. So yun nga, going back to our mission, it is to love and protect and empower the most disadvantaged children. So mostly our beneficiaries are coming from the poorest of the poor, those na talagang pulubi talaga na nakatira sa informal settling areas. So from time to time, we go there to visit the community and syempre kamustahin sila on how they're doing now, especially ngayon may pandemic. So since DevCom ito, if you are a superhero, what will you do to save the world? Can anyone try to answer that question? If you're a superhero.
Tanong.
Kasi I think I'm asking this question because if you're a development communicator, you have to represent yourselves for the marginalized sector because we talk about social development. Pero hindi lahat may kayang, may kapabilidad na gawing successful ang sarili. Minsan, nag-a-aspire sila na maging successful, pero kabaligtaran ang nangyayari. If you're a superhero, what will you do? Of course, you'll help them. So, you'll provide different kinds of interventions na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila to empower themselves and for them to gain confidence that they can actually work on their own and they can become resilient as a person, as an individual. So, first, if you're working, lalo na sa Virlanie Foundation, who is a child rights and human rights organization, you have to understand the basis of your arguments. So, you have to understand the rights of a child kasi ito yung pinaka-foundation ng lahat. So, as a DevCom scholar, you have to check on international treaties, local and foreign policies, updates on the law, ano yung mga nabago, ano yung mga latest improvements, ano yung mga changes, ganyan, mga amendments. So for instance, when we say children's rights, we follow the conventions on the rights of the child, which is coming from the United Nations, no? It actually works with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So this is a treaty signed or ratified by many countries that will continue to uphold the rights of the children. So yun lang yun. So ano ba ang contents nun? Of course, definition of a child. Ano ba ang definition of a child? Siya yung below 18 years old legally, which is nakasulat siya sa isang document talaga, which is yun nga. And then, of course, no discrimination ng bata. You always have to think for the best interest of the child. Family guidance, identity ng bata, importante, protection, children's views, freedom of thought. They have the right to access education and healthcare. And nakasulat din doon, ano ba ang dapat gawin sa mga bata na nagbe-break ng law? Kasi di ba ngayon, it's a trend, lalo na ngayon sa Duterte administration, gusto nila, nagkakaroon sila ng debate sa Senate or sa Congress. What will they do? Do they have to lower the age of the criminal liability of a child? Take note, it's a child. So meaning, wala siyang kamuang-muang sa daigdig niya. So is it, kahit a child cannot easily judge kung tama ba yung ginagawa niya or hindi. So wala siyang kamuang-muang. So for example, in this current pandemic, we have the IATF policies and kung ano-ano ng mga serye na nangyayari sa government natin. But then we realized that we have to stay at home. Pero paano yung mga bata na ano mangyayari sa mga bata kapag nagstay sa bahay? So that's one reason. What will happen to their education? Swerte natin kasi meron tayong Wi-Fi, we have the gadgets that we need for our work and for our education, to continue our education. But then what if kung poorest of the poor siya, isang kahigat, isang tuka ang pamilya niya? Ano ang gagawin nila?
Tanong nga muna sa students, 18 years old na ba kayo and above?
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes po.
19. Okay. Sige. Kala ko may 17 pa rito eh.
Wala, sir.
Bibo ni Renzi. Okay. So, for example, may sinabi dito, identity. Paano kung halimbawa walang birth certificate na naibigay dun sa bata, pagka-civil pa lang niya, pagkapanganak pa lang niya from her mother? So, dun pa lang parang mapapa-question ka na okay, sabihin na natin na alam natin na yung bata ay nanganak dito sa Manila. Pero anong katibayan niya na taga Manila siya at Pilipino siya, taga Pilipinas siya. So wala siyang pinahahawakan na legal document. So doon pa lang, yung identity niya nade-deprive na siya. Yung protection niya nade-deprive na din kasi wala siyang birth certificate. Kasi pwede itong magamit to protect the child if ever kailangan niya ng tulong when it comes to legalities. Then yung access to basic needs such as education and healthcare, yun, nadadali din yun kasi wala siyang birth certificate. Dahil wala siyang birth certificate, hindi siya makapag-enroll sa school. So, and then, for example, balik tayo, mahirap sila, hindi siya makapag-aral kasi walang pambayad sa school. So, doon pa lang, yung economic and financial capacity niya nadadali siya. So, may discrimination na dahil mahirap siya, hindi ka pwede sa school na to kasi hindi mo kayang magbayad. So, ano-ano ba yung mga Virlanie programs? So, we have 7 programs. Talagang hindi pa ako sure, binibilang ko siya lahat. Okay. First, meron kaming community. So, this one, ang focus ito is to strengthen families kasi ang mga bata ay nangangailangan ng magandang pamilya. Kung ang pamilya ay hindi maganda ang relationship sa isa't isa, so bubuho ang pangarap ng isang bata at hindi niya makukuha yung gusto niyang makamit sa buhay kung wala yung suporta ng pamilya niya. Then, second, yung street. So, ang goal nito is to empower children, youth, and families to go out on street situation. Ito yung nasa squatters area, nasa tondo lang na pakalat-kalat. So, ayun. So, residential program, offer namin siya dito. Our office is located in Makati. And we provide family-oriented environment for children. So meron kaming 6 homes ngayon. And galing yun sa mga chaotic families. Depende. Maraming cases, ang bata, yung iba abused, yung iba merong mga matinding like sexually abused din, ganyan. So iba-iba. Health, so we want to make sure that they can get the proper health care that they need. And then the education, of course, we need inclusion kasi marami sa kanila ang biktima ng bullying sa school kaya ayaw na nilang pumasok sa school. So, and then may integration. So this is the livelihood aspect to ensure resiliency and successfully integrated to society. Meron silang paraan to make them stand alone sa pag naging independent na sila in the future. And of course, we have our advocacy program that promotes and defend children's rights. So dito napapasok yung mga lobbying and then yung interaction with the Congress and yung mga parang small rallies na for children. May question ba?
Wala po.
Clarify lang ng lobbying. Baka hindi familiar yung students. What is lobbying?
Ang lobbying ay yung magsasabi ka ng mga panukala na pwedeng mag-improve ng batas natin. So, katulad ng issues natin sa birth certificate, no? Hanggang ngayon, nilalobby pa rin siya, which is we ask the help of our congressmen to revise and improve the processes of getting birth certificates. So, ayun. So, ang communication nito is from bottom to top. So, galing sa boses ng ating mga beneficiaries to our congressmen na may kakayahang magsulat ng batas para sa kanila. So, yung influence ni Virlanie, ginagamit natin yan para doon. Ano pa po? Wala na? Okay. So, yan. Mag-focus tayo sa isang program which is a street program. So, yun nga, sinabanggit ko rin kanina, they are from the poorest of the poor. Most of them, actually, talaga yung iba sa kanila, may kakayahan naman. They know how to work on their own. It's just that they're migrants from provinces. They're also below minimum wage to none. And then street dwellers, informal settlers, tapos marami sa kanila no birth certificate, limited and has no access to basic needs, no safe place to stay, tapos yun nga, victims of bullying, and of course, child labor. Kasi ang bata dapat nag-aaral, hindi nagtatrabaho. At the age of 10, na makikita mo siya, ang concern niya is paano kumita o paano matulungan ang nanay or tatay na kumita ng pera. So, kahit siya, nag-volunteer na siya magpa-child labor kasi due to poverty. So, meron tayong, under street programs, merong interventions. So, si Mobile Unit 1, ito yung parang Efren Peña, Florida. I don't know if you know him. It is a street-based education.
It's a Kariton.
Yan. Kariton teacher, parang ganon. Pero this one, well, logistics-wise, upgraded naman siya. And then we have mobile classrooms din. Kung nakikita niyo sa picture, di ba parang may tent and then may cart, yon. It's basically a blackboard na nagtuturo ng functional learning, alphabet, counting, yan, mga simple math, and then how to survive in the streets. So, ayan. It promotes inclusion.
Question po sana.
Lourdes.
Is it somehow similar po? Are you familiar po with childhood?
Child caring institution din naman si Child Hope. So we have same visions din naman in protecting the children. Yes.
Yes po. Thank you po.
Okay. So, okay. Sana tayo. So yes, it promotes inclusion of children and families and through education. Kasi marami sa mga street program, just like what I said before, ang mga beneficiaries nito, talagang wala na silang motivation to go to school kasi ang iniisip lang nila is yung future ng family nila, how they can survive in one day. Anong kakainin namin sa isang araw? Kung ipupunta ko to sa school at nangalakal na lang ako, edi kumita pa ako. So, I don't think we don't think, sa Virlanie, we don't think a child should think that way kailangan talaga mag-aral sila kasi ito nga yung sinasabi natin na this will help them boost their economic status in life. So once they were able to finish their education, they can provide better opportunities for their family. So under ng mobile unit, yun yung ways or walk your ways to school. So reintegration of children to school. It also provides admin support to the families and children, particularly dun sa part na birth certificate. And it also provides educational assistance kasi may mga bata na lumalapit sa mga social workers namin na, ate, kailangan ko ng pambayad para doon sa project kasi bibili kami ng school supplies like cartolina kasi may report kami sa school. So mga ganyan. They also provide counseling sessions for the family, lalo na kung medyo talagang down na. And then, income-generating projects, dito nila sinasama, sinasama na nila si integration program because we have Likhaya kasi, the eco-fashion brand of Virlanie. So, kung sino yung mga qualified moms or fathers or youth na pwedeng makatulong in making eco-jewelries, they will be part of the group para magkaroon sila ng extra income. And then, of course, the health and social services. So, sa naman, meron pang open day center sa Bacolod. Ito, hindi ko pa ito napuntahan yung community namin dito. But it also offers same like mobile unit. May day shelter siya. And ang goal nito is to make the beneficiaries independent then. And of course, they provide basic needs like food, of course, birth certificates, inclusive education. So, mga ganon. They also offer training, particularly, I heard na parang karamihan ng mga kabataan na involved dito sa Open Day Center is yung mga drug abusers na sa murang edad. So, we need to give them proper intervention para hindi na sila bumalik dun sa dati nilang buhay as drug addicts. So, next, ito yung Give to Achieve. Ito naman is a campaign ni Virlanie. So, this one is our signature parang event for education. And we gather our supporters to help every child learn and to give importance to inclusive education. So, ano ba yung message ni Give to Achieve? So, syempre, first, we have to understand the learning challenges ng mga bata. Particularly ngayon, since pandemic. So, medyo patapos na tong campaign na to kasi we're already transitioning for our Christmas campaign. But then, may mga supporters pa rin na nagbibigay ng tulong for Give to Achieve. So, ang message lang natin dito is to beat poverty and to promote rights-based approach when it comes to education. So, ano ba ang rights-based approach? So, for example, ikaw ay bata or estudyante na bulag, pero ang teacher mo, bibigyan ka ng intervention, intervention na pangbingi. Do you think you can learn something? Di ba parang for the sake, correct. So parang ginagawa lang yung trabaho niya for the sake of doing it, but not entirely helping the learner to learn something dun sa school. So this is a challenging approach for educational institutions. So, ayun. And of course, we need to decrease deprivation of information. Ano ba yung deprivation of information? Sa poorest of the poor, meron lang sila, wala silang gadgets, di ba? Wala silang gadgets, wala silang laptops. They can, yung iba doon, swertihan na may TV, swerte na may radyo, but not everyone has those until now. And according to a study ni UNICEF, yung situational analysis ni UNICEF, ano bang year yun? 2017. According sa studies nila na masyadong mabagal ang improvements when it comes to this part. So marami sa kanila sa mga latest na information na pwedeng makatulong pang-educate ng sarili nila. So ano ba ang goal natin sa Give to Achieve? Of course, to influence our legislators to push Inclusive Education Act of the Philippines. So, actually, matagal na itong nakabinbin sa Kongreso, pero hindi ito nabibigyan ng pansin matagal ng panahon. So, this is a wake-up call for our legislators na, huy, may mga batas tayo na medyo relevant ngayon, lalo na ngayong pandemic. We need to give children assurance na sila ay makakapag-aral. Then of course, to create public awareness about the problems in our current education system. So, ayun.
Ano yung ilang provisions ng inclusive education act or bill? Ano yung pinopropose doon sa inclusive education?
Giving the right interventions to the learners and giving quality education regardless of their social economic status, regardless of their gender, regardless of their mga ganong bagay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So, yun. Medyo technical. Nung first time ko mag-handle din ng campaign ng Give to Achieve, na-realize ko napaka-technical niya din pala. Understanding the education sector is very technical. Hindi siya ganun kadali. Kasi you have to review the policies ng education dito sa Philippines. Ano ba yung current na nangyayari sa Philippines? So you have to check a lot of things para ma-articulate mo siya ng maayos. So, very technical siya in such a way. So, ano ba yung naging communication strategies natin sa Give to Achieve? So, syempre, this time, hindi lang siya DevCom, pero may halo siyang marketing na. Kasi we also need fundraising. So, yun nga, may mga digital vouchers. So, yan. Mayroon tayong mga virtual run for inclusive education. So, may partners si Virlanie na nag-hold ng event. So, syempre, as communicator, kailangan natin ma-inspire yung mga donors natin, yung mga stakeholders natin to support the campaign. So, kailangan natin magpakita ng success story for them na, okay, ito pala yung evidence. Katulad nitong nasa picture. Yung nasa picture, yung naka-black her name is Teresita and yung isa is yung nanay niya. So, ang story niya, si Teresita ay blind. She recently graduated college na. She earned her bachelor's degree in Philippine Normal University. Ang course niya is basic, ano ba yun? Early childhood education. Ayun. So, nagkwento siya ng mga struggles namin. So, sabi nga, parang napakasarap makita sa video yung may umiiyak. So, during the interview process, talagang umiyak siya. If you want to check the video, just search Virlanie Foundation and then lilitaw naman din yung video ni Teresita. And then we also have webinar session, which is yung Include 2020, na invite natin ang representative from DepEd, from a private sector, and a board member from an academe sa De La Salle College of Business. Okay. So, meron tayong parang vlogs, like Coffee Times with Ina, parang vlog lang siya na talk show explaining the advocacy in a light manner way kasi sino ba naman ang gustong makabasa or makarinig ng mga technical na bagay-bagay about education. Then we also need to release a public statement. This one, medyo formal to. So, ayan. Email marketing sa mga Virlanie newsletter subscribers, and of course, social media marketing din meron tayo. And hindi ko pala naisulat dito yung PR na article on Give to Achieve, no, na na-publish sa Inquirer. So, ano yung impact ng communication? So, syempre, di ba, you have to initiate the communication. So, meron tayong channels, meron tayong yung message, and then yung receive. Paano ba nila ni-receive? Paano natin malalaman na na-receive yung message? So, therefore, dapat may impact yung ginawa nating communication. So, ayan. Medyo nakakuha ako ng mga information from our fundraising team naman. So, sa virtual run, nung nag-advertise tayo, nagkaroon tayo ng 525 runners who ran for inclusive education. So, it's not bad. And then, the donation target was almost met. It's a combination of financial and non-financial donations. Kasi may mga nag-donate ng laptops, like tablets, pocket Wi-Fi, lalo doon sa mga walang capacity to have those things. And then we also had partnerships with organization that offers alternative education support, like Eskweleng Pamilya ng AHA Learning Center. So, they offer COVID-19 related topics na ini-instill sa mga kabataan. And then, beneficiaries was also was able to continue their education through modular and online learning because very strong naman ang support ng street program team ni Virlanie. So may new partner na nakuha at nagkaroon ng meaningful connection sa mga batang Virlanie through virtual social engagement. Kayo as a class, pwede nyo rin gawin yan. Like you can hold an art workshop sa mga bata dito sa Makati dito sa Makati na mag-offer kunwari ng art workshop para hindi sila ma-bored or mga ganun. And then you get the chance to talk with them one by one kung gusto nyo. And then Virlanie frontliners increase their morale. So may impact din siya sa employees natin. Alam naman natin na hindi ganun kalaki yung sweldo ng mga workers sa non-government sector, but they're still inspired to do more work kasi yung sa achievement na nafe-feel nila during their fieldwork. So points to ponder, how to encourage, siguro as a communicator, we have to think how to encourage
may tanong po si sir sa sa chat box po.
Okay, wait lang.
Dapat tatanong ko pero may lang.
Ako? Members ng team ko?
Yeah.
One-man team ako.
Projects eh.
One-man team. One-man team yan. Okay. So yan. How to encourage your audience. Balik tayo sa points to ponder. How to encourage your audience to participate in your causes. Kasi lalo ngayon, medyo polarized yung society natin. No? When we say polarized, parang parang divided yung society politically, di ba? Meron DDS, merong dilawan daw. So, kung yun, mapag-unite mo, di ba, mas maganda kasi parang it's a dream come true na yung DDS at saka dilawan magkaisang ganyan na they're acting for inclusive education. So, you must also give them a motivation for action. So, how to improve society, no? Lalo na para sa mga bata na pwedeng makinabang at pwede nating maging leaders sa future generation. Then, how to convince your audience that your advocacy is important and relevant. Engaging discussion on social issues. So, yan. Healthy debates ang kailangan natin. Kasi yung iba, makapag-argue lang, pero walang laman. And they don't have any basis dun sa mga arguments nila. So, we need to be careful on choosing our information. Kasi very important yun, lalo na kung ang karapatan ng mga bata ang at stake. And then, of course, challenge pa rin natin as dev communicators, how to make our lawmakers become proactive in prioritizing inclusive education at gawin itong batas na ito once and for all.
Okay, questions muna. Napaminom ng questions. Joy? Louie?
Hindi naman po siya more on sir, question. Parang naisip ko lang po. Siyempre po, may mga bata dyan naman siguro na kahit mag-offer ka ng tulong sa kanila, ayaw talaga nila ng tulong. Ano po kaya yung pwedeng solution doon? Yung parang alam mo naman po na kailangan nila, pero ayaw po talaga nila magpapatulong.
Pero actually, nangyayari pa rin yan until now kahit sa mga residential ni Virlanie, no? Lalo na may, kahit alam na incapacitated talaga yung bata at saka yung may mga house parents, it's a combination effort of the house parents and the social workers ang nagtutulong-tulong in giving the intervention para sa bata. Kasi ang bata, kasi talaga ang nature ng mga bata dito, disturbed talaga sila. So they need one-on-one talks, heartful conversations with one another, na, ako si social worker, mapapagkatiwalaan mo talaga ako, parang gano'n. They have to establish rapport. It takes time doon sa lalo doon sa mga traumatized na wala nang tiwala talaga sa matatanda kasi dahil sa abuse ng kanilang magulang. Pero they have to really accept the fact that nandito sila sa Virlanie, and Virlanie is here to help them as well. And yun nga, accept the fact that they really need help for their own improvement. So yun.